when the disciples came together to break bread, it was upon the first day of the week. This means that they celebrated the Lord's Supper on Sunday. It was on this day that Paul preached to, to them, and each church met on the first day of the week. That was the important day because it was the day when Jesus came back from the dead. Under the old creation, the seventh day was the important day, the Sabbath day. That belonged to the old creation. On the Sabbath day, Jesus was dead instead inside the tomb. On the first day of the week, he came forth. We meet on that day because we are now joined to a living Christ. That is the testimony of the first day of the week. Now, the other thing that interests me about this verse is that Paul was going to leave them the next day, so he preached all the way to midnight. Now, I do not know any congregation that would listen to me until midnight. And I forgot in chapter 19 to remind you, I'm reading out of Through the Bible series by J. Vernon McGee. I believe that he gave me permission to preach the Bible series, although he does say as long as I preach it better than him, so that might eliminate me. But his proviso might eliminate me. I do want to thank my son Chad for volume 3, which is where Acts is Matthew through Romans. Apparently, Aunt Donna's husband gave it to him, and so he passed it on to me. And do want to point that out. Now, I do not know any congregation that would listen to me until midnight. I'm of the opinion that there aren't many preachers who would preach until midnight in these days in which we live. However, about after midnight, I start preaching at midnight. However, this is Paul's last visit. It is a tender meeting. He is getting ready to leave, and he will not be back. This gives him an excuse to preach that long. I tell congregations very frankly that I am a long-winded preacher. I'm known as that. I love to teach the Word of God. I have a system of homiletics that I never learned in the seminary. I picked it up myself. In fact, I got it from a cigarette commercial. This is it. It's not how long you make it, but how you make it long. I believe in making it long. My scriptural authority for it is that Paul did it. He spoke until midnight. You can't help but smile at that. In verse 8, and there were many lights in the upper chamber where they were gathered together. They had the place all lit up. These early Christians didn't stay up until midnight, whooping it up, but they were still up at midnight, listening to the Word of God and praising Him. May I say to you that we have let the world take away from us the fun that we ought to be having today with the things of God. Annabelle is moving my cord here. Here, let me have my cord back. Thank you. Okay. To be having fun today with the things of God. So if your preacher goes a little overtime, friend, be patient with him. However, I think midnight was a little long for the Apostle Paul to preach, because look what happened here. And that ends that section. Now we're going on